Yeah.
Oh
Welcome back,
my
folks.
God.
Episode 36 of the Wrinkled Podcast. My name is Morgan. This is Big Squatch. I mean, Sir
Squatch,
Beefy. I mean, wait a minute. I got my names
Squatcham,
crossed.
Squatchamania.
Squatchamus Prime.
Oh, that's good.
This is Hunter, a gentleman and a scholar.
Yes.
All right. So, happy Sunday. Actually, I mean, by the time this comes out, it's probably like Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. So this whole Met Gala drama. I'm a little confused on what people are so mad about. Not in terms of, because there's that chick who posted a clip with like audio from Marie Antoinette that I actually had to go look up. I knew the quote and I know who said it, but I didn't remember like the context. And it was basically like these, you know, the higher ups were just kind of letting everyone starve and do whatever, right? So I get that part of like, oh yeah, you know, given this context, probably not the best. Are people upset that the celebrities are spending $75,000 to go, or are they upset that the Met Gala, like that event in general, is just happening at all when the money that could come from it could go somewhere else?
I think from what I understand, it's very like Hunger Games or like very dystopian, you know, while the majority of the country is having issues financially and housing market is out of whack and food prices are out of whack and gas prices are out of whack and all the like the basic shit that we kind of need to survive is just insane. These folks are coming in, dropping 75K on a ticket, wearing these extremely expensive outfits and shit, and like it seems like I said, very dystopic in that regard. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a usual like guy buy like what is it? The Rock has that like T-Rex skull or like dinosaur skull that he bought for like a couple $1 million. It's nothing like that where it's like you know, it's like a kind of a personal choice. It seems you all right over there?
Yeah, I last night they brought over one of those pre-mixed margaritas from Costco.
Oh yeah.
And dude, that thing's got some zing.
You got a little zap to it.
It's like hit you right in the kidney.
But it feels very like backwards as to what should be done, you know.
Well, like I said, it almost seems like the anger is from the Met Gala happening at all. Not so much that these people are spending their money, like they have the money, spend it, whatever. It's more so, given everything, is this the best thing to spend money on type thing?
Yeah. You know, and I know it's like a big thing, and I'm not sure like what it supports or like if there's any charity stuff involved. I'm not sure with that, you know. But I know the big one that a lot of people are pissed off about is, I think it was a singer. She had it was a fucking, this is something that actually upset me a little bit, but not like that. It's water from like a glacier in Norway or some shit like that. Yeah, then there was like a gold rose inside it that they froze, and then it cost like $25,000, $22,000 or something like that. I'm like, that would take care of me. 22K would take care of, if somebody dropped 22K on my lap today, there would be no complaints for me at all. And I would say that goes for like 90% of Americans.
Yeah.
You know, so the fact that there was a cube of fucking water that cost 22K with like a 35K rose inside of it, it's like, it feels a little like, you know, mid-century French to me.
I always thought that like the outfits and the purses and even that, like the block, I thought part of the point of the Met Gala was designers showcasing stuff, and they would reach out to famous people and be like, hey, we'll design you something. Do they actually pay for that shit?
I don't know.
I didn't think they paid for it. I always thought it was like, hey, famous designer, we want this singer to wear our thing.
Yeah, I have no clue, man. Honestly, I don't know.
In terms of the money, that's a good question. Like, what happens inside the Met Gala besides dinner?
I'm sure there's some type of like fund or charitable thing going on, but it's not the right timing for a lot of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And of course, it was going to happen regardless. You know, but still, it's like it feels like another slap in the face that the rich get to like come out for a day and play dress up and have fun and shit. Where we're like, people are working hard and busting their ass, and you know, do what they got to do to survive. It's just another one of those that's like we're too poor to understand. You know, like this is not an event that you attend if you have like $1 million. This is an event you attend if you have hundreds of millions of dollars. You know.
Yeah.
So the only other thing that I wish people had the same energy for the Kentucky Derby, because the Kentucky Derby just happened like recently within the last like 2 weeks or week or something like that. Dude, the shit had over $200 million like of betting money go through it just over that weekend.
Damn.
$200 million.
Holy shit.
You know, it's crazy.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I guess it's almost kind of like at the start of COVID when all the celebrities put out the videos. We're in this together at our 80,000 square foot mansions.
Yeah. You know, it's that photo that it reminds me of the I can't remember what war it was. It was Russian and somebody else, but they go into like their palace. You know, it's like the farm owner, like the slave, like goes into the palace and is like looking around and seeing how like lavish and grandiose things are. I'm like, we're getting to that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about it, because I'm a big proponent of like, hey, it's your money, you do what you want with it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like, there's a time and place for a lot of this shit too. You know, it's like, I don't know.
I think it's
like I said, who's to say that we wouldn't do the same thing if?
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is I feel like everyone always thinks that they'd be the good guy and they'd always be the generous one. It usually doesn't work out like that.
No,
like they did that like psychological study of, you know, it was like responding to authority, and they had people sit in a office with a button, and there were people inside like this room with electrodes, and they had somebody like in a suit basically tell them, press the button. And the person knew if they pressed it, it would shock them. And dude, it was like an overwhelming amount of people who pressed it without even questioning. It wasn't like, no, it's going to hurt them. Like, no, they just did it. And it's like, oh, no, you wouldn't have been the good guy. You would have been one of the guards. Like,
yeah.
In terms of just responding to authority, like very rarely do people have that grit to say, no, you know, screw you. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So I feel like that happens a lot when it comes to being rich too. They're like, oh, why don't they just donate or give it away? It's like, there are people, what is it called? I think it's part of some religions where you're supposed to donate like 10%.
Oh, like a tithe?
Yeah. There are people making 40 grand a year who do that.
Yeah.
So you don't need to be worth millions to do that. But it's more so like, money isn't going to change who you are. If you're not doing something now, you're not going to do it then.
Yeah, that's another thing too, is that like money will change you, but always for the worse, you know.
Yeah, it's going to accentuate what you already are. If you're generous now, you're going to be more generous. If you're greedy, you're going to be more greedy. So, but yeah, I did see a video of who was it? J-Lo. Some reporter like asked her like, "Oh, what are you wearing?" And man, the look she gave her, it was just like, it just, watching it, it just sounded like in her head like peasant.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hi to a friend. It was like, whoa, damn.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, if celebrities didn't rely on people for like money and shit, they would toss them aside so fast. You know,
see,
they would shit talk everybody, and I swear to God,
what doesn't make sense to me is these people know. Like, let's take movie stars, for instance. If every single person who's not an actor or actress stopped going to see movies, they would stop making money.
Yeah.
So if you know that your whole income directly comes from you satisfying your viewers, then like, wouldn't there be some sort of like, oh my God, I'm wearing this. Like, thank you for asking.
Yeah. Some level of like, oh, sweet, you know,
humility.
like nobody's asked me tonight. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. It's, I don't know, man. It's a little wild.
Said, man, we're too poor to understand.
I guess so. Like,
once I'm rich, I'll shit on everybody else. You didn't work hard like I did. It reminds me of that report that like every billionaire under 30 was all inherited money. It was no self-made money. from any billionaire under 30. It was all money that was inherited. I'm like, that makes sense.
Really?
Yeah.
No, there's no way.
It was a report, man.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was
I could
from,
see like a portion of it to jumpstart,
it was
but to
all like
actually get to wow.
every billionaire under 30. Because remember, like, and this is a thing, I think this is such an American thing. When you hear $1 billion, you think that's like some small amount of money. It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
You know, like, what is the difference between a million and a billion seconds? Like, a million seconds is like 2 weeks. A billion seconds is like 30 something years. You know,
That's
it's like, that's the
crazy.
difference. That's what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, no person has ever made $1 billion naturally. You're just working hard. It just doesn't exist. You know,
Yeah.
you got to do a lot of shit to a lot of people to get that.
You know what's crazy? If we could live a little longer, like if we could double our lifespan in terms of like compound interest in the stock market,
oh well,
we would all be really rich then.
Yeah.
Because it doubles every 7 years.
Yeah.
So, dude, just double our lifespan somehow, and whoo, give it a little time.
No, listen, man, we got to go back to the good old days, where like average age of surviving was like 32.
God,
People they're living too long, man.
terrible.
They're sucking up all the resources.
That's terrible. I couldn't imagine. That'd give me what, 6 years? I got too much.
Imagine, but imagine what you would want to do in those 6 years. Imagine what you could get accomplished, knowing that, like, man, this is the limit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you can do that anyway. Just act like you only got 6 years left.
No, well, that's what I'm saying though. But you know, you don't.
Yeah,
that's the thing. You know, deep down, you know.
That's true. Yeah, man, I don't know. Like I said, I want to live forever. I want to do it all.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see every place. I want to learn every language, learn how to cook every dish. I want to be like what's his name? It's an episode of Justice League. Vandal Savage. He's the immortal villain.
I only know Macho Man.
Okay. So he's a DC villain. He's immortal. And I don't know if this is the actual canon origins, but he's tied to, like, God, what was it? There was like some meteorite that fell, and he was like, this is like caveman days.
Mm-hmm.
And the meteorite was warm, so he like went and slept next to it to keep warm for the night. And then when he woke up, he just like, he felt better. He had like higher intelligence. He's stronger.
That's radiation.
And he just doesn't die. No matter what, he doesn't die. And so there's an episode where Superman gets teleported like 1,000 years into the future.
Mm-hmm.
And Vandal Savage is the only one on the planet, and he's like docile now. He's like, got a garden on top of this building. He's like got this huge library. He's just doing all this
Thanos.
stuff. Yeah,
he pulled an Endgame Thanos.
Like he has a shuttle that he's built, and he's just so peaceful. And this is after he's basically killed everyone. He takes down the entire Justice League with Superman gone, and then kind of comes to this conclusion like, oh, I'm the only one left. This sucks.
Yeah, this is not what I wanted.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool, but I'd want to be like that, only not, murderous.
Not evil.
Yeah. Psychotic.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
It's like that episode of Futurama where I forget what it's a time machine that only goes forward in time. Mm-hmm. And like Fry was supposed to have a date with Leela. So like yeah, and then the fucking Farnsworth is like, Fry, you gotta help me with this. So they go forward in time like 10 minutes, right? And then they do whatever, but then they slip, and then it just keeps going forward. So what happens is the Earth, they go through everything again, but what happens is a Big Bang happens. So the Earth collapses, everything destroys, Big Bang collapses, Earth is born again, everything happens the same. So he's able to go to his, but it happens in like twice. Like it's a really good bit. But they literally just watch like the sun explode and shit. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking awesome.
That'd be terrifying.
Who said it? Was it Friedrich Nietzsche? Or one of those guys that was like, imagine you live the same life like over and over again. Like some demon comes to you and is like, no matter what, you're going to live your life the same way every single time. There's no difference. Mm-hmm. What would you do? With this knowledge, what would you do now? Like you can't change where you're born, who you're born to. You know,
that doesn't sound so bad.
I,
I mean, all things considered, I mean, life's pretty great.
that's
You
what I'm
know,
saying.
like I said, bad shit's happening, but all in all, I think we're still net positive. Like, we're not.
No nuclear fallout yet.
Yeah, exactly.
We're getting close to World War III, but we're not there yet.
I was born with my eyeballs. Like, I've got both feet.
I was born yellow. That's not a
jaundice?
joke, and that's not racist yet. Actually, yeah, I was born with jaundice.
Yeah. Chill, people. It's a condition. Oh,
listen, man, my barber gave me the pass. All right. Yeah, I was born a little yellow baby. There's like so many photos of me because I remember my mom was telling me, she was like, "Oh, I was terrified that you were gonna die." I was like, "I was just jaundice, man." I was like,
you look like SpongeBob.
I needed some sunlight. That's it. Oh, and speaking of, dude, look at that shit.
Damn.
That's what I normally look like.
Wow. Yeah, we were out in the sun today. We went to a winery to pick up our like monthly like pack. It's the one that reuses the bottles, so their bottles are super cheap. And then we went to this like dude. I've never been to a fancy Mexican food restaurant. I've been to more like upscale, like obviously there's a big difference between like your local Mexican food, a Taco Bell, and then like a more upscale. Dude, this place was like you walk in.
I'm trying to figure like what would the difference be?
Well, first of all, like
was there a band? Was there a mariachi?
No. Damn. Just the whole interior of this place. Well, first of all, it was in a rich neighborhood.
Of course.
Like El Dorado.
Okay.
So, like the whole area, we pull in, there's apartments near this whole like center. I'm like, oh my God, I bet those start off at $3,000. We look up a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, starting at $29.90. I'm like, I'd have no money.
I want to ask the landlord what percentage of that building is in use compared to how many empty rooms you have.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because I every time I see this shit and you talk to people, will be like, oh yeah, my rent costs this much. It's like, oh, how many people live in your apartment with you? I've only seen like 8 other people. Like, so there's a couple hundred something rooms that nobody's using for fucking what?
Yeah.
So
are they upcharging you to make up for the loss? Or are they just, using the empty rooms to like inflate numbers?
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. Interesting. But dude, oh my God, this restaurant was so good. I had a really good something sunrise, something with rum. It tasted like a gusher in a cup. Like
tequila, like a tequila sunrise?
No. It was something rum, some other rum, pineapple juice, and something red.
A Bahama Mama. I don't know why I said I like that.
Dude,
my brain just went like
if you blended this thing, I could have sipped on it all day. Like on a beach. No, not on a beach. On a driving range. Yeah, just with constant refills, like hitting balls and drinking those. Anyway, dude, this place was so fancy. Oh my God, the service. I love good service. Like, my Diet Coke is half empty. He comes, boop, grabs it. Like 30 seconds later, fresh one. I'm like, and I had a wet burrito.
Places that kill, man, is just but what'd you have for dinner?
It was my first time having a wet burrito. It was great, and of course, so look at me. I'm about as white as it gets. I tell the dude, I'm like, hey, can you put something in that to make it give it some heat? And again, look at me. So he probably thinks like, oh, you mean like jalapenos?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we got a like ghost pepper sauce. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do it. And he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I'll bring it on the side. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, smart.
Dude, this was like a 5 out of 10 comparatively. It was like,
see, the thing with sauces, and it's specifically hot sauces, man, is that like they gotta taste good. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you get that very like forward like bitterness that like peppers have. You know what I'm saying? I hate when it's like that.
It wasn't even a sauce. It was like it was like an oil, like a chili oil. It was like a
Mm.
Diablo chili oil, which I like sauces, like little, you know,
Yeah.
like put on top of your like omelet,
Yeah.
little drizzle. And this oil, I mean, it was all right, but it wasn't very hot. But the wet burrito, oh my god, that was so good. And the chips and salsa, that's always good.
Yeah.
But
I'm just trying to, I guess I don't know too much like fancy Mexican food.
it wasn't it wasn't the food. It was just
It's
everything
just
else.
like just the vibe.
Yeah, like I said, the place, the interior was nice. Like the tables, dude, the silverware was the fanciest silverware I've ever seen,
Hmm.
and it was nice and like girthy. You know how like certain things you want to feel heavy,
Yeah.
like the Steam Deck, it has some weight to it. It doesn't feel
Yeah.
like you're gonna break it. Um, the people, like the waiters and waitresses, they were dressed up like all black. Some had ties. I mean, like they were just
Hmm.
on it. And
Interesting.
yeah, man, it was good. It was really good. And then the whole area was super nice, but it was so hot. Like,
It was a doozy yesterday.
oh, it was terrible. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
let's go inside anywhere because this is rough. So, yeah, man, that's it was a busy hot day.
Yeah. I'm not looking forward to the summer, man.
Yeah, it's the worst. And then it stays hot at night. Like, what are
God,
we doing here? The sun is down. That's supposed to mean something, and now it doesn't.
no.
Like, why, God?
It's
Tell
awful.
me.
I hate it.
What do y'all think? What do y'all think about Mexican food or the heat? Separate, not in the same deal.
Yes.
What do you think of hot sauce? God, I love hot sauce.
It depends, man. It depends on the hot sauce because I like green sauce. That's my thing.
Yeah,
It has I think the flavor's a little bit better.
yeah.
Red sauce is good because you get that nice like kind of kick and like a little smokiness, but green sauce, man, it's just I feel like it goes with a lot more food.
The Trader Joe's, we picked up a bottle. It's like a salsa verde, like taco sauce. Oh,
Mm.
dude, amazing. I'll send you a picture so you can grab some. It's
Some
really good.
good shit.
Yeah. What was that other thing you were? Not the Met
Oh,
Gala.
the Kendrick Drake beef,
Yeah.
dude.
So
That
again,
shit's been going crazy, man.
I've gotten a little bit. Again, I heard some of Kendrick Lamar's songs, and I'm like, wow,
Mhm.
this man's just dissing his whole family line.
Yeah, just straight icing them, dude.
Which I think it's kind of funny. Regardless of whether the beef or the hate is real, they're both profiting off of it.
Yes,
It's a brilliant marketing move. Even if
I
it's not a
think-
marketing move,
yeah.
like
I think Drake has a lot more to lose though
mhm.
for something like this. And it's very interesting, because growing up, at least for me, like there was a lot of beefs that you heard, like Tupac and Biggie, like that was a classic one. You know what I'm saying? NWA and like everybody, like they always had some beef. And on the East Coast, I know Wu Tang and some other guys would get into it, like Ghetto Boys and shit like that.
Nobody got like chicken or pork. It was all just beef.
It was all beef, man. They just straight serving fucking knuckle sandwiches all day, every day. But I think this one's a little bit different because it's doing something that I don't think any other beef has done before, and it's including the fans. You know what I'm saying? Before, this was strictly like rapper versus rapper, group versus group. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you diss my boy, or we're from this hood, you're from that hood, et cetera, et cetera. This is a little bit different because a lot of what Kendrick is doing, like I said, I recommend you guys go and listen to all of the diss tracks. I think there's like 5 or 6 now. But essentially, what Kendrick did was he called out Drake for saying that you don't rap for the culture. You know what I'm saying? You don't rap because you're a rapper. You rap because it's something that you can profitize, and you know what I'm saying? Like the people that you have, like it's essentially goes back to like, and this is an argument that I don't agree with, but I can see it is like the singing and like the melodramatic and shit like that. Like there's no rap in the hidden rap anymore. It's all hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It's like smooth beats and like barely anything that flows. Meanwhile, like Kendrick is over here writing albums that are winning Pulitzer prizes. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Which is like never been done before. you know, but essentially he's calling out Drake for rapping for the wrong culture. You know,
Interesting. So
so
like
and that's
being
a big thing.
off base. Like
Yes,
what you're doing isn't what you're trying to represent.
yes,
Got it.
you
Okay.
know. And Rick Ross came in and like called him like white boy and like all this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like insults that I don't think again should be, because you can consistently call Eminem one of the best rappers of all time, and he's a white guy.
Oh yeah.
But again, look
I
at
don't think
him.
anybody could argue with that.
No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That man writes, like, his flow is insane. He writes his own shit. You know, Drake has people writing for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He's out
that's
here
what
doing shit on the side that like is crazy. It's like, you know,
everyone's calling him a fraud, and so we were talking about like, oh, I wonder what I feel like in order to call someone a fraud, I feel like whoever he's worked with, whether it be in a studio or whatnot, at some point during the recording or whatnot, maybe his entire like career is got this from somebody else, got this from somebody else. Nothing originates from Drake.
yeah,
He's all just the mouthpiece for everything that's like put together. I could
yeah,
see that from somebody else's perspective and be like, you're just spitting out what they're giving to you.
hmm
So what's the point of you type thing? You know,
yeah.
there's no like
He's
originality or
he's
heart behind
the
it.
face of the product.
Right.
You know,
So that's what I think. If in terms of the word fraud, that's a very, again, coming from other rappers in order to say, oh, you're a fraud. I feel like, okay, whatever you're
hmm
doing, you're not doing. Like
yeah,
it's not
it's
coming from
definitely
you.
got some merit. You know, so it's definitely been interesting, and obviously there's a lot of allegations of him being a sexual offender, specifically children and
Oh,
teenagers, and all kinds of shit. There's the photo that Kendrick used for the cover of the diss track, which is like
I saw, or I didn't see it,
the
but she just told me about
plastic
it.
surgeon, the fucking, his Ozempic prescription, and saying that he's got a daughter that he hides, and
The
apparently
Google
he has
Maps with
another
like the
son.
it's a Google
Oh
map.
yeah, Kendrick's house and shit like that.
Yeah, with like the registered offenders little
Yeah,
dots on there. Yeah.
yeah. So it's been going
That's
crazy, man. And like I said, it's something interesting that I don't think Beef has done in a while. You know, is that it gets the fans involved. Because you really question your, like, when somebody tells me you don't like rap, I ask myself, like, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying? You don't like people rhyming words. You don't like it for the style, for the beat, for the what? Like, you know what I'm saying? For what? But you ask him, do you like Drake? To go, yeah, I love Drake. And I go, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference. Like,
interesting.
this is a whole thing that we could talk
Mhm.
about, but the one thing that I'm reminded of is when it comes to Rick Ross. Yeah, I don't think it was a song. I think it was a feature on that song. But he's talking about something, and he's talking about like it was a part of the song where he says he puts Molly in her champagne. She don't even know it. Take her home. She don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? So essentially condoning
Mhm.
Dayrep. People blew up about that, and I think it was like people like told Adidas or Reebok or whoever he was like sponsored by to like cut him, so they cut him and all kinds of shit like that. But I'm like, but when he goes out here talking about he's selling drugs and doing this and sending people to kill people, like that's fine. You're okay to rap about that.
Where's the
You know what I'm
line?
saying? Yeah, exactly. It's like I said, there's a whole conversation that you can have about this specifically.
Hmm.
And I think music in general is extremely important to society. I think music in general is extremely important to a person. Um, but like I said, where is it okay? Where does it become too much? When does it become like whatever? You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm talking about killing people in my hood, it's like, oh yeah, he's a murderer. When Chief Keef came out with Love Sosa, people were banging that shit, not even knowing the context. You know what I'm saying? You talking about like one of the most ruthless neighborhoods in America. You know what I'm saying? Where you wear the wrong colors, you could just be somebody coming there from out of state. Wear the
Mhm.
wrong colors in the neighborhood, you're dead. You're shot. That's cool. But as soon as it's like it involves like the real shit, like the actual hood shit, it's like, oh hey, come on now, guys, shouldn't be rapping about that. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a lot of conversations to be had with that kind of shit.
Interesting.
It's just
What do y'all think?
yes. That's what I want to know. Is
Yeah.
to me, Kendrick won, but again, Kendrick has been like my number one for like a long time. Him and Cole are consistently at the top. You know, I stopped listening to Drake like 10 years ago. So
I just remember everyone in high school, all the girls fangirling about, oh my God, it's the new Drake album.
yeah,
Just like consistently. Oh my God, I stayed up until so and so until it dropped. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
damn,
You know,
I'm only staying up till midnight for the new, Battlefront 2.
yeah. I think the only album that I was like, I'm trying to think of like the last album, probably Childish Gambino. I think that's probably the last album where I was just like, ooh, yeah, like I'm waiting for that. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, we did a
Uh,
synopsis of This Is America.
Great fucking music
Yeah, yeah,
video,
yeah.
by the way.
Dude, that was like our assignment. And so I had to do one English class when I went to college because I guess AP didn't count or something.
Yeah.
And we watched that and then analyzed like each part of it. And it was like, dude, it's such a great video. Like every single piece of it is like, this is pulled from this. This is pulled from like Jim Crow. This is pulled from like this piece of history. It's like, damn it. Oh man.
And
It's
that's
so
what I'm
well
saying.
done.
And you see the difference, right? You know what I'm saying? Like when you have something like that, that is still a rap song.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But you see how many references and you see how linguistically, how smart, you know what I'm saying? How attentive they are to the lyrics and shit like that. That's the shit I'm talking about. That's rap. You know what I'm saying? To me, you
Yep.
know.
There was, God, I have seen all the comparisons where like rap, it used to be like when it first became a thing, it was again about the rhyming, about saying things that mattered. And
Yeah.
now you compare it to today, and a lot of it is just like, skip it, like all these noises and whatnot mixed with like, oh, there's a total of 20 words in the entire song, and the rest is just music and noises and whatnot. It's like lost all of the soul of what it represented. It's not,
Because again,
again,
once you marketify something, you know what I'm saying? The income is required then. You know, like I said, these guys weren't doing this back then for money. These guys were out here in the fucking street, you know, having rap battles with each other. You know what I'm saying? That's where the term MC comes from. OG fucking uh you know, like that's why it's like dog something or doctor something, you know. These names are important to kind of to what your style and your flow was, you know.
that was
Notorious
their way of
B.I.G.
like, that was their
Why did
way
they
of
call him
sharing.
Notorious? Because the motherfucker would out rap anybody. You know what I'm saying? That guy was
That's a
14 years
sweet
old.
name.
That's what I'm saying.
Notorious. Yeah.
You know, he was out there on 14 years old on the streets of fucking Bed-Stuy, like handing these guys his ass whooping lyrically. You know, that's what music was. You know, what rap was.
Yeah.
And like I said, a lot of music turned out like that. You know, pop music was like the Ramones, the Clash. You know, like kind of the edgier, like, hey, we're outside, we're existing outside of rock, and we're kind of going into something new. Now it's like Taylor Swift. One I don't have a problem with, right? But like, you play me 5 Taylor Swift songs, they sound the same. You know, you play me 5 Drake songs, they sound the same.
Yeah.
You know, country,
Yeah.
you play me modern country, especially. You play me 5 modern country songs, they all sound the same.
Yeah.
You know, there's no life in anything anymore, man. I'm telling you, dude. It's all commodified. It's all marketified. There's
You know,
no
what I
no
did
spark.
see, which I adore his voice. And again, thanks to TikTok, because I probably would have never seen it otherwise. Teddy Swims.
Oh, Taylor Swift is great. I've been following that guy on YouTube for years.
I saw what's
It
Lose
was him in
Control.
the UK.
I don't know. It's his song, I lose control.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, hearing him sing that, you can like feel the soul, and I'm like, oh,
I feel the heart, man. I'm telling you.
dude, it is so good.
Like I said, I've been following the guy for years. I started following him when he had like under 500K subs on YouTube, and I was like, how is this guy not more popular? Because that's when he was doing covers of like old songs. And one of the covers that he did was Bonnie Raitt's "I Can't Make You Love Me."
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that shit like hurt. And I'm like, that's what it is. You know,
Man, his
that's music.
voice And I just saw another one. He was in like a town square with what's
it
this
was
guy's name?
there was
Ray.
that
Victor Ray?
yeah
Is that his name?
the guy, the black guy from UK or from
What's his
England.
name? I think it is Victor Ray.
Yeah, I can't remember that.
Maybe.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know he's wearing the red Leatherman jacket.
Yeah.
And dude, they went
They're
back and
both
forth,
going
and I was
crazy.
like,
Yeah.
they're so good. Like,
Yeah, that shit was
holy
awesome.
Shit. Like, man, good singing. There's certain stuff, like, you know, you go through my page on anything, it's like tech, games, comedy, the kind of normal. But then, like, if a photography comes up or like a music thing, I'm just like, yes. It's, man, there's something about like good music or hearing somebody. I love hearing somebody who takes a song and then does a cover of it and they do it better. I'm just like, oh, yeah.
Because that's why I love music, man. Is like you said, we can listen to the same song and get two different experiences from that. You know, and like I said, and then somebody who covered that, we go, well, that's not the vibe I picked up from it. I got this vibe from it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah.
like Nine Inch Nails, Hurt, and then Johnny Cash did the cover of Hurt.
Yeah.
It's like two completely different ways to listen to that song, and they sound so fucking different.
Yeah.
You know,
there's a God, I love when they take the song and they either make it like slow and sad or they change up the tempo completely and give it a whole different feel.
Yeah.
There's a band, their whole shtick is to take modern songs and make them like, you know,
it's like that clown guy, right?
Oh, it's a whole group and they dress up in like old timey outfits and they make it sound like it's like back in like the 20s.
Oh, so Flappers?
Maybe. Oh God, I'm sure if I did a little research, I could, you know, find the name, but it's really interesting just to, they take modern stuff and make it sound like super aged. And it's like, whoa, that is a really cool idea. And like, you'd never think of it. Music, man.
It's good, man. Like I said, that's I have very few rules that I specifically follow in my life. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the time, again, as with every fucking adult, you just wing shit a lot of the time. You know what I'm saying? That's a secret that like nobody wants you to know, is that like you think you grow up and then you have all these plans for shit and everything goes exactly how it is. It's like no. You end up winging like 90% of your day.
Yeah,
you know,
that's correct. But also, that same thing applies on the other side. You're an adult. You don't have to clean up your house when people come over. You don't have to do 90% of the shit that you were taught. You have to do. You do what you want. It's your life.
Yeah.
But you said you had.
But like, everyone knows what good music sounds like. Everyone knows what good food tastes like, and everyone knows what a smile means. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's like three things that I always will like tell people. You know, is that like good food, good music, smile? That'll bring anybody together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Dude, oh my God, the fucking winery we were at, packed. Right, Mother's Day. So we get this little corner table. There's this lady with her whole like music setup, you know, doing live music. It's just her. She's playing the music of the songs and then she's singing them. Dude, she's got to be like 65. Fucking kills it.
Just going ham, man.
I'm like, oh, okay, I can tell. Like, this isn't some woman who does it like part-time because she thought she's good. Like, you can tell this is someone who's been singing. And I'm like, whoa. Like, she did a really good job. I'm like, holy shit. So that was a very pleasant surprise.
I love that. Like, you go somewhere and like you find like someone playing a piano like in a mall or something like that, you know. Dude. It's like, oh yeah.
I piano. I think if I could listen to one instrument for the rest of my life, it would be piano. Take any
it's either
music,
that's rough,
anything.
Dude.
Like convert all music, anything to one instrument. I would be a piano.
What's that like 10-stringed guitar that rotates that people play? I want to listen to that for the rest of my life. It's like imagine a Gatling gun that has guitar like strings all over it, and as it spins, it changes the tune and like it'll just spin, right? You know, and they just go and do all this crazy shit. I'm like, oh, that sounds sick as fuck. You know,
That sounds like a D&D character, and then every
or
string
the
is like a spell.
oh shit. Well, they kind of did that in spoilers if you haven't seen like a 20-year-old movie, Kung Fu Hustle. They kind of do that in that film where they send these assassins after them. So essentially, the gang, there's a gang that comes, they attack like an apartment block. They get fought off by 3 kung fu warriors. The gang doesn't like that. They hire some assassins, but they use one of those like steel kind of like Chinese guitars where you like peck at it, you know?
Oh
Like
yeah,
if you
yeah,
ever hear
yeah.
like the
It's got a
you know
really
that
harsh like
yeah.
peg. It's got like little metal pegs. Yeah.
Yeah. But as they're fighting them, you know, they're not doing anything, right? But what they're doing is they're using the guitar to like send out like invisible like blades and like they kill one guy with it and then the other 2 notice it and shit.
Interesting.
But yeah,
I was
it's like
thinking
shit
of
like
Kite from Hunter x Hunter with his
that.
little
Oh yeah.
ding.
Yeah. The fucking I want weapon number or
Yep.
whatever
8.
random weapon.
Oh, what a shit
Oh
choice.
yeah, not 8 again. And then he still like massacres everybody with it.
Yeah.
It's like
God, what a show, man. That
great.
the whole plot twist of number 9.
The Chimera Ant arc went
Dude,
crazy.
yeah. I think that might be my favorite arc in an anime ever.
It's either that or probably Dark Tournament from Yu Yu Hakusho. I think for me, because I remember watching that as a kid. I haven't seen that show since I was a child, like probably like 8 years old. I just remember just sitting there, just going, "Oh, he's gonna sneeze. He's about to blow."
Bro,
I hate
tease
that
me on
shit.
a lot, but don't tease me on a sneeze. Like, come on.
That's the worst, man.
Fuck. Either that or the Namek saga.
Namek is good, man.
I love watching Goku like just power up Frieza because I'm gonna whoop your ass anyway. Like,
so yeah, that's such a great fucking saga.
But yeah, man, the Chimera Ant arc.
Yeah, I remember just the whole time, man. I was just completely blown away. I remember like listening to the music and I was like, "Oh my god, this shit's so good!" And then like a year later, 2 years later, it's like it became a meme song. You know, I was like, "That's how you know the music's good." You know what I'm saying? Well, somebody will be like, "What can I use this for a meme for?" Like the JoJo's, like, it was like to be continued and it plays the. You know what I'm saying? It's like that song was originally by the band Yes. You know, which they allowed the use of in JoJo's because the guy who made JoJo's is a big music fan, right? Like all the characters are named after like musical characters or like songs and shit like that, you know. It's like I love how that song became like a 40-year-old song became popular again just for a meme.
So the internet's great, man. Like things can just circulate around.
Yeah.
Like I love the memes I've sent you. Like the stand user could be anyone.
Oh yeah.
The stand user.
The fucking big metal like helmet and you know bird wings and shit. It's like I wonder who the killer is. It's like seeing a bald white guy in a black suit and go, he's definitely not a hitman.
With like Roshi glasses.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh god. Like I said, the internet, what a great thing.
I would say you want to know when the internet's not good? It's when corporations try and ruin it.
Ooh, yeah. That's
like
right.
Marvel's doing with Marvel Rivals.
Oh, dude.
I don't know if you've seen that.
I saw so first of all, looks fun. Looks really great.
It looks okay.
I saw the entry in the contract that you had to sign to play it.
Yes. The non-disparage clause.
Yeah. Which, if you haven't seen it, folks, it basically said you cannot, during like a stream or a review of the alpha, say anything bad about it or compare it to anything else like Overwatch. And then people lost their minds and they quickly went, "Oh, this is a mistake. Our bad."
Yeah.
But it was basically like, you cannot say anything that would hurt the game's development at all.
Yeah. So I actually have the section of the clause right here.
Yeah.
So yeah, non-disparagement. The content creator agrees not to make any any public statements or engage in discussions that are detrimental to the reputation of the game. This includes, but is not limited to, making disparaging or satirical comments about any game-related material, such as game features, characters, or music, engaging in malicious comparisons with competitors, or belittling the gameplay or differences of Marvel rivals, or providing subjective negative reviews of the game. Now, I want everyone there to know that this is highly illegal. This is not something that you can enforce. This is not something that can, break any laws or anything like that.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, as
That's
of now,
terrible.
it's being removed from the contract going forward because they're calling it a miscommunication. So I don't believe that. What I believe is kind of what I've been seeing in the comments and the threads is that this is probably something that, again, because this is being developed by NetEase, company in China, it was probably something that they do over there. They just brought the contract over without even thinking about it twice. You thinking they can get away with it,
That makes sense, actually.
Because I don't think any like lawsuits or anything are going to happen out of this, but they figured, well, fuck it, we'll just take the risk, because most people don't know.
Yeah.
Most people think like, oh shit, yeah, I have to.
That makes sense. Because, I mean, like, even when we did that alpha for Suicide Squad, like, yeah, you couldn't stream it because it was an alpha. But when they're sending out codes, oh, yeah, you can stream. You can't force speech. Like, well, you have to say good things. It's like,
yeah.
My ass.
That requires a disclosure of some kind, which is why when you see, and you might not remember this. I remember this specifically because Machinima was doing this, and they got in big trouble for it. Which is why every YouTube video that has a sponsored part has to say hashtag ad or sponsored by whoever somewhere. Even before you even watch the video, it'll tell you like sponsored. Because what they're doing is they're taking all this money and promoting products and videos and games and stuff like that and not disclosing it. So that was a big thing. I remember Machinima got in big trouble for that, and then that changed. I want to say like 2015, 2016. Now that's where like hashtag ad comes from. Because you kind of have to let your viewers know that, hey, this is a sponsored whatever. This ad is being presented to you in a, hey, buy this from me type of way. So
yeah. Which, I do appreciate, but man, even with that, like, you can tell when somebody's being genuine.
Yes.
You really, like, one guy I really appreciate, Harris from Stream Beats, Senpai Gaming.
Harris Heller.
Yeah. He'll be like, yeah, this is sponsored. But then you watch his video and like, he'll still like dog on it. Like, yeah, they sent me this, but I told them I'm going to be honest. So here we go.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, I can tell like at the end of it, oh, it does this well and it sucks when it comes to this. So if it works for you, cool. If not, awesome.
I always wonder how much those sponsorships are worth because I see like small YouTubers and small streamers take certain contracts that I don't think are, like, one guy was promoting a CS:GO gambling site. I'm like, man, I feel like 8 years ago this was a thing, and like it shouldn't be a thing now, but here we are.
So with Stream Elements, they have like on their website, you can connect your Twitch or your YouTube, and you can set up like a merch store. You can download the launcher to stream and whatnot. But they'll also send you sponsorships. They'll say, hey, you have a new sponsorship waiting. And a lot of them are stream this C-tier mobile game that is not selling enough and get to this level and you can make $800. And like, dude, there's so many of them. It's like, I'm not streaming this garbage.
Yeah.
And try and fake and be like, oh yeah, it's so much fun. No, it's not. That's why you have to push these sponsorships and pay people to try and talk about them. Like, no.
Yeah.
It's sad. So it might be on like that. It might be one of those like, oh, we really need people. Like, here's free stuff. You can say you have a sponsor. Promote it,
That's fair, I guess. I don't know,
like
man.
some of the like the gamer powders, like the G Fuel, or like, oh, buy my, my.
Which one do I have? I have the. Well, I don't know if it's G Fuel. It might be Gamer Subs or whatever, but it's the Dragon Ball one they released.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So.
I got some.
Yeah, I was saying you went like an octave deep there,
Yeah.
man. I just got some.
I went to the vitamin shop
Hmm.
and oh my god, that place was great. I got some Ghost like hydration stick packets. You just pour them in water. Blue
Dude,
raspberry.
I definitely needed one of that. The only thing is, I had the prime one. Money's got some. I had like the prime one. Dude, that shit tasted awful. It was so fucking sweet
Yep.
for having no sugar in it, dude.
If you can
I'm
get
just
some,
like,
the
ugh.
Ghost. So Ghost, they make energy drinks, protein powder. They
Yeah.
also make. They're shaped like Prime, and they say in big letters 0 caffeine, but it's just like a hydration drink.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like one of them's like Sour Patch Kids, and one so good.
Yeah, after the afternoon I had, I was like, definitely need to hydrate.
Yeah. Yikes. Yeah, I've been drinking one every morning because you wake up, you're pretty dehydrated.
Dude, I've been chugging water like a motherfucker, man.
Yeah, especially in this heat, man. Hydrate, people.
Yes, please.
Don't be passing out there.
Yeah, don't pass out. Stop fucking getting cramps all the time. Stop waking up with cramps in your legs. Hydration is the key.
Dude,
like I said,
leg cramps are
stopped.
The worst.
Yeah, I thought I was doing something wrong because in high school, you play football, whatever, and they tell you to stretch so you don't cramp. And I go, oh hell yeah, that'll be no problem. Go to sleep. Nope, because motherfucker, I was not hydrating.
Yep, you
was
lost
like the number one
all your electrolytes during practice.
Yeah. I was just eating, wasn't really drinking. So
you should
please. 1 million feet.
Oh, dude. Oh, Abby gets to work from home starting tomorrow.
Nice.
Like part-time. Yeah, so we built her desk. Got her new monitor with an arm.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be good. It'll be really nice. Especially like Mondays and Tuesdays, man. Don't have to go to bed so early on Sunday because there's a big gap. She'll be in bed like 7:30 because she's got to get up, get ready, do her makeup, do all that thing. I'm sitting there laying in bed just knocked out.
It's almost as if working in an office is fucking not necessary.
Yep. Don't let them fool you, folks. It's not.
Those fucking bastards.
They just, I don't know. They got to pay for that rented space.
Literally.
Yeah. Beats me. Dude, I started reading again. Like books.
Good for you. Your English is getting a lot better, I can tell.
Dude. It feels good.
My brain's small.
I was telling her about it. When you stop reading for long enough and you start talking to people.
You get dumb.
And you can't think of the word. It feels terrible.
Uh-huh.
It's like, all right, I have the neurons in there and they're not connecting, but I know they're in there. What's going on? Yeah, it's the worst feeling. Yep. It's like, all right, I got to shock myself or something. But it feels good, man, especially when you're interested in whatever you're reading in.
Yes, that is tantamount. Don't let anybody tell you that you need to read this or read that because it's the most popular or whatever, this or that. My favorite book as a kid was fucking a Choose Your Own Adventure dinosaur book.
Hell yeah,
Why?
That sounds awesome.
Because it was super dope and it invigorated my mind.
Yep. You can read fiction. You can read fantasy. It doesn't matter. You don't need to read.
You want to read.
You don't need to read scientific nonfiction.
Yeah.
And historical memoirs. Oh, fuck all that.
Yeah. I thought I was being smart when I was just in fact being really cringy when I brought fucking Darwin's Theory of Evolution to my science class and was reading that. Yeah. It's like, no, you're just being a fucking weirdo. I was like, yeah, I guess I was.
Yeah.
I got in deep on that shit though.
It's interesting.
I learned a lot about pigeons. We'll say that. These pigeons are something else, man. Well, because that's how it started for him. That's how he learned about, that's how he saw the differences in,
the beaks.
He would monitor a nest and shit like that and be like, well, I saw this colored male and this colored female, and just eventually down the line, he kind of just was picked up on it. I was like, actually, yeah, so you learn some shit by being a cringe lord, but luckily I wasn't putting it in the issue that I would have had with it, especially if I was doing it, is putting it in people's face. Guys, I'm reading The Theory of Evolution by Charles Darwin.
If you had turned into a pre-Reddit Redditor.
Yes. So just a Discord mod. But yeah, I wasn't like putting it in people's faces or anything like that. I was just reading it because I was like, I was more interested on it than anything else.
Look at that pink sweater. Actually, that's a dusty rose.
Yeah. Oh god, I hate
Actually,
this shit. My Gatorade is in fucking Aquarius and shit like that. Like, what are you talking about, man? Oh, are you okay?
wow, that was loud.
I thought I heard something, but
It sounded like a firework, but it was really close. Like that sounded like it was like 10 feet from the window.
like somebody put it in a trash can, probably, because that's where they get really
Yeah,
loud and like get
that's
that
what it
like
sounds like.
that initial like boom.
Yeah, that might have
Because
been what it was.
it'll reverberate, especially if they put it in a dumpster, because it'll reverberate against the metal and then upward and outward. Yeah, that shit sounds.
It's like, dude, it's Mother's Day. Nobody's out here partying. Calm down.
That's how people celebrate their mothers, man. Shooting fireworks on other people's fucking lawns and almost setting them on fire.
Let's give her a heart attack. That'll show her how grateful I am. I remember one time. Did you ever those little rubber? It was like a half dome, and you bend it and set it on a desk, and it would pop up. Did you ever have that? I don't know what it's called. It's like just a little piece of rubber, like a dome.
You push down and it would go.
Yeah, and it would pop up.
Yeah.
Dude, I swear I was such a little shit. Like my grandma was watching me, had her coffee, and I went, "Oh, this will be fun." And I popped it and put it in her coffee, and just I shot.
Oh man, listen, kids do dumb shit all the time, man. You know, that's why I tell people, like, just let your kids be kids.
Yeah, I mean, they gotta learn. You know, you gotta experience stuff and do dumb shit to know that it's dumb shit.
Yeah,
like.
It's like I had to learn that the stove was hot to not touch it anymore.
Yeah,
guess how many times it took me to learn that the stove was hot? Once.
Yep. You got to grab the cup out of the microwave and burn your hands a little bit. Like,
yeah.
It's part of the process.
Now, when you start hurting motherfuckers, that's different.
Yeah.
You know, but you're just being a dumbass kid, kind of like how kids are supposed to do.
That's when you get a Mick ass whooping.
Yes. Oh, God, don't
grab that
McDonald's, please. Nightmare. Nightmare.
God. Dude, that Jollibee was so good.
That sounds good as hell, man. I don't lie.
The 2 buckets of chicken and a big thing of spaghetti. Oh, it was so good.
That spicy chicken. Oh, dude, their spicy chicken is so fucking good, bro.